Hello guys, welcome back to this IQ Option automation series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get trading history. So we can check all our trading history from this section, right? And we can also filter for particular instruments trading that we made, right? So I will be showing all these things. Now let's go to IQ Option Web, right click, do inspect, go to network tab, and here in the source bar you can type history positions and let's select send. Okay, so this is how the payloads needs to be. Okay, so this is for digital option. So like here in the platform, we need to separately pass these instrument in order to get trading history for that particular instrument. Okay, uh, so this is for digital option, and here you can see the payload. So user id, user balance id, start and end times. So these are time stamp, and these are like from this date to this date, right? So this is basically the duration. Okay, and the name needs to be this and version needs to be this. Okay, so like digital option, there is another instrument. Okay, this is for CFD. Okay, so this is how it needs to be, and this instrument types needs to be list. Okay, and inside a list contains a and inside a list contains a instrument type, right? And there are two ways to get trading history. One is by passing time, right, start time and end time, and another one is by passing the limit, or let's say pagination. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so this is like where we need to send start and end time, right? For pagination, just a moment, not able to find it. Okay, so not able to find it, but I'll show you how it looks for like pagination. Okay, so this is the message payload for like by sending start and end time, right? And if we want to get, let's say, latest 10 trades, latest 100 or 200 trades, so this is how the payload needs to be. So we remove start and end from this payload, and we need to add this limit. It's very important. Offset, okay, it's optional, but limit is important. It's kind of pagination, and these are the available instruments, right? So these are the value instruments. And for binary option, it needs to be it needs to a list needs to contain turbo option and binary option. And for other thing, it can be like one item, let's say marginal forex or marginal CFD or marginal crypto or digital option or bleached option. Okay, now let's get the coding done. Since these are account related things, so let's put this thing in accounts.py. And as we have two different kind of payload, or two different ways to fetch trading history, right? Let's create two different function for the purpose of this tutorial. Okay, so first let's try to get trading history by pagination or using limit parameter. Okay, so let's write a function, and I'm going to define this function as this. So we need to pass instrument type, and this needs to be string, this needs to be list and string, right? Item needs to be string, and the limit, right, so set to 300 by default, and offset set to the 0 by default. So for now I'll get rid of this thing. Okay, and the payload, as I mentioned, needs to be this. Now simply copy this. Okay, let's copy this and paste it here, right? Instead of this dynamic value, let's replace with limit, this with offset, and this with instrument type, and this needs to be dynamic as well. And this we have attribute called current account ID, right? So this is all we need to do, and now we are good to send this to WebSocket. Now let's do self dot we have something called ws manager object, right? And this has send message method, right? So the first thing needs to be this send message, okay, and other thing is going to be message. For now, let's add time dot sleep, okay. Let's say two second of time dot sleep, and let's go to WebSocket and print the message to see if we are getting trading history or not. Okay, so we are good to go, except we can leave this thing as it is. One thing that we need to do is actually invoke the function that we just mentioned. Right now we don't have gateway function, so let's use account manager object, and this has this method called get history positions, get position by history, okay, by page, sorry. And we need to pass, okay, other two things are like set as default, right? And we need to pass instrument. For now, let's say marginal forex, let's pass this one, okay. For marginal forex, I have made two trades, one on 31st July and another one on 2nd July, right? So these are the only trades I did in forex instrument. We are good to go. Let's run the script. I'm going to clear the console, and then let's run the script. Okay, it says error, parse error, expected this near offset of marginal forex. So let's see. Okay, this needs to be a list, not a string item, right? The item can be the item inside a list can be string, needs to be string actually, but it needs to be wrapped within this square bracket, right? Okay, let's see what we are going to get. And so it says empty, right? So why are we getting this empty? Maybe we have set real account. Okay, so on real account I haven't made any trades yet, right? That's why it's returning empty list. On forex, on demo account, I have made couple of trades on different instruments, okay. So let's set this to demo account. This time we must be able to get uh, two trading records for marginal forex, okay. So we are getting the data, and the name for the message is history positions, right? Let's copy this thing. Let's copy the name and go to message handler. Now let's add a handler to handle that message, okay. So history position, right? So the message name is history position, and now we need to define this function. Okay, let's define this function. I'm just going to copy this function. I'm going to paste it here at the bottom, okay. And the function name needs to be this, and instead of candle, this is for trading history, so I'm going to give it a name or attribute name like history positions, right? And from message, so this is from message, whole message, then msg, and needs to be position, okay. Copy this thing, paste it here, and let's define these as attribute and set this to none by default, like so far so good. Now in our accounts.py, what we can do is actually, instead of hard-coded time.sleep, let's make sure we don't wait more time than what's required. So while self dot message handler dot, we just define this attribute, right? Distribution is none, keep looping with small delay, right? I think this is enough. And then after that, return this self dot message handler dot positions. Looks good, right? Now we can print it. Actually, let's wrap this one inside print statement, and also go to WebSocket.py and comment this print statement. This time we must be getting some log message and this history position as list, not as a dictionary with a key inside it. Okay, so we are getting the data, right? Okay, right now it is bit difficult to read, so let's do one thing. So here what we can do is actually, instead of printing, let's store this in a variable called positions, right? Since it's a list, we can actually excuse me, let's store this position data in a JSON file. So with open position dot json, write mode as file. So json dot dump, you may know JSON needs to be imported, right? And then pass this data and the file, and also indent equals to 4 if you want to data to be sorted in indented way, right? So this is all we need. Let's see if a file will be created with that name or not. Okay, successfully connected, process successfully complete. So positions.json, and here is our JSON file. So this is how the data looks, right? So right now we are fetching okay, marginal forex trading history, and there are two items, right? This is how the data looks, right? Still difficult to read. It is easier than before, but it's still so many data to read. This raw data has like nested information for time being, and as per my need, what I need to get from its dictionary is I think I need active ID, right? And then active ID or instrument ID, then instrument type, status, open time, close return, and PNL realized. PNL realized. Actually, I need PNL rate. Okay, so these are all the things that I need. Okay, I don't need other information, so we will discard other information for time being. But if you need to keep it, you can keep it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to filter particular items from this position data. So to save time, I'm just copy pasting, and here actually I'm getting, so this position is a list, and each item in a list is a dictionary. Just a moment. So here you can see this is a each item, right? And it's a dictionary, right? So that means we can access item within it. And then this is how I am filtering for particular information. Like I mentioned, I need active ID, instrument type, right? And the amount invested, and open time and close time and those things, right? Now instead of position, I'm going to pass this filter data, but before that I need to append this data, filter data dot append. I need to pass this filtered position. Okay, this is how it looks. And for time, open and close time, the time is time sync, right? Sorry, it's a time stamp. So it's a bit difficult to know like when this thread was initiated, right? When it was initiated and closed. So let's convert this time to a standard datetime format like this format. Okay, so for that what we can do is, before appending to this filter data here, so the position has this open time, right? So this open time, it's a timestamp, and first we need to convert this to millisecond, and we can do this by dividing by 1000. Okay, this is what we can do. And next, actually we can actually assign it to a column call, any name of your choice. So I'm going to assign it to a key called this, and then from that, so from timestamp I'm passing this and converting to this string time format. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. All looks good. The same way I will do for close time as well. So instead of open, this needs to be close time. Okay, just a moment. This needs to be close time, close time, close time. So far so good. Let's see how the data is going to be formatted this time. Okay, so this is how the data is formatted, but we are getting only one data. So the way I am appending, okay, this is where the problem lies, right? I need to append each item in a list. Okay, so this is where the problem came from. Okay, looks okay. And here we have two record as shown in the platform, right? From the opening time until this time, I have made only two forex trades, so it's only showing two trades, right? How about bleached option? Okay, so I have made one bleached option trading, and that was like few minutes earlier, right? Let's try to get this as well. So for this we need to change, instead of marginal forex, it needs to be bleached option. Okay, it needs to be bleached option, and run the script. Okay, meanwhile let me show you. I have made none of crypto transaction, none of CFD transaction, and mostly I have made digital and binary options. Bleached option only one trading, right? Okay, so process was successful, and here you can see only one item for bleached option, and this is today itself, right? At this time, active ID is 76 euro USD OTC, right? Matching, and then investment amount and the net P and the profit amount. So the investment amount and profit amount working as expected. Now let's also get for digital option. For digital option, this needs to be, the instrument needs to be this, right? I have made so many digital option trades. Right now it will get 300 because that's the limit we have set, right? and it gets only the latest data. Now if we need to get for a specific date range, we need to send another payload, and we will do that in a moment. Okay, process went successful, and here you can see we have lots of data. So it's over 3000 lines, so probably 300 items for digital option, right? And the same way, the payload for fetching digital option trading history needs to be this. So we need to pass these two as a list, right? Turbo option and binary option, just to make sure. For digital option, for binary option also I have made so many trade, so this will look quite similar. That's why I'm deleting this JSON file. Okay, run the script and wait for JSON file to be created, and then getting data with this limit argument is complete, or this function is complete. For another payload we will write another function. Okay, so the file is being created, and here you can see source turbo option, right? Okay, so turbo option and binary option, right? Okay, so this means we are able to get data with this payload, right? So we successfully fetched trading history using this kind of payload, right? Now let's write another function where instead of limit we will pass date range and get the trading history for particular instrument. Now let's define another function. I am going to name it something like get position history by time, since this is we will be using time, right? Okay, so get position history by time, and we need to pass instrument, right? It's most, and start time and end time can be empty, and I will tell you why in a moment, right? Okay, and for this payload, this is the payload for getting history by time, right? paste the paste the payload here. Okay, so the next thing what we need to do is actually copy this thing. We can copy this thing, right, and we can paste it here as it is. But before making WebSocket request, now there is one thing that needs to be done, and that is to create dynamic timestamp end and start timestamp like this, right? So for that, let's create a file called utilities.py, and here we need to write a function where we will pass just a moment, where we will pass date and time like this, right? We will pass time like this, and it will give us timestamp. Just a moment, it will give us okay, timestamp is not available here. Okay, it's available here, so it will give us timestamp like this. Okay, now let's import date time and time delta. Let's import this, and then let's write a function. Name it of your choice. I'm naming it get timestamp, and we need to pass start time and end time, and this start and end time needs to be string, and these can be none. So based on my needs, why I'm setting this none is that if no date range is specified, get the trading history for last 24 hour. Okay, so for that, uh, if this condition, if no end date is provided, use uh, end dt or end date to be datetime dot now. Okay, so end, if no date is provided, right, end date or start date are not provided, or one of it is not provided, we will handle both cases, right? In case end date is not provided, let's consider end dt or end date to be datetime dot now or time now. Okay, and if it's provided, right, if actually date is provided, what we can do is we can convert this to uh, a string time format like this. Okay, and same goes for start time, but with exception to uh, with exception to this, instead of date time dot now, because we are already using date time dot now, right? So start date and end date cannot be date time dot now, right? This way we will not get any trading history, because since date time now for start and end is same, right? So what needs to be done is uh, do this, and then start date, set this to 24 hour earlier or prior than the in the date time. Okay, so for that what we can do is, actually we are already defining this int dt, right? Int dt, and let's do time delta, and I'm going to define 24 hours. Okay, so this is what I am going to do, right? So this will, if no end date is provided, this will be datetime dot now, and start date will be 24 hour prior to this ndt. All right, next what we need to do is, actually this is pretty much all we need to do. Now we need to generate timestamp and return this. Okay, we need to return two values, one for start timestamp and another one for end time, and we can get timestamp using this. Since these are a datetime object, right, we can do end dt dot, it has a method called timestamp, right? Since this is being converted to a string, or in case, like in this case it's not converted to a string, but in case it's converted to a string, we need to make sure this data is int, because here you can see it's not wrapped in code, right? This is wrapped inside code, so this is a string. This is not wrapped inside a code, and it has no decimal, so this is int value. So let's make sure explicitly that this needs to be this needs to be this needs to be int. Okay, and let's do the same thing for start dt, and now we can actually return this, right? And this will be returned as tuple. We need to unpack it. I'll show you the example right away. So let's do print get timestamp. No need to pass any argument, run the script, and you will get tuple value, right? Tuple timestamp here, right? This is how the data will be returned by this function. Okay, so it's working as expected. Let's make sure it's working for time format like this also. So time format like let's say time format like this, right? So this is how we will be passing data for a specific date range. Okay, let's see if it will work or not. Okay, so it's working as expected. It's returning tuple timestamp, right? Let's handle a case where, let's say we pass a date range by default, a mistake date range. let's say if we type 33 like 33, usually in a month at max the 32 or 31 days, right? The 32 33 days is like out of index or out of range for a particular month, right? So this will give us an error like this. It says value error and time data does not match time format, right? So for this, what we can do is actually we can do exception handling, right? To ensure that this does not break our program, and then accept exception as a accept exception as a, and then we can simply print a custom message. uh, we can simply print custom message, or let's print the error. Okay, let's print the error and also print a friendly message to inform that uh, please make sure date is within valid range. Okay, and this function will return none. Okay, so this is what this function will do. Looks good, right? This is all we need to do. And actually this needs to be this, not this. For start day, this needs to be not end. So I was doing mistake here, right? Okay, now I think it's being fixed. End dt, start dt needs to be this, else start dt is going to be this. Just a moment. Start dt needs to be, if start date is provided, it needs to be this. Okay, not provided needs to be this, otherwise it needs to be this. If start date is provided, not provided needs to be this, and if provided needs to be this. Now looks okay and robust. Let's get rid of this print statement. Okay, now we need to import this module in our accounts.py. So from version2.utilities import, so the function name is get timestamp, right? Okay, looks good. Now here let's call that function and actually do unpacking as unpacking as well, right? So start ts time second, right, and end ts, and let's do get timestamps, right? And instead of hard coded value or static value, let's replace with dynamic value. I don't think this needs to be passed. It's not mandatory, but this needs to be, and then this needs to be this in order to make this dynamic, right? So far so good. And also this needs to be instrument type, instrument type. And one thing we need to make sure is we need to pass this start and end time. In case dates are passed, this value needs to be used, right, for these dates. Okay, looks okay. Now let's call this function. Okay, let's call this function, and for this function also we need to provide only instrument type instead of this. Let's do marginal 4x because let's do blitzed option, because for blitzed option there is only one item, right, this time. Okay, double quotation twice actually, right? All looks good. So this blitzed option trade was placed a few hours earlier today, right? So with this default value, we will be able to get this trade record for bleached option, right? So let's say sorry, so let's see, is it going to return one or not? Okay, so it's not returning anything, but maybe the JSON file is created with data. Okay, so there is data. I just want to ensure, right? This could be the old data. Let's run the script one more time and see if the file will be created or not. And I will also print the length, right? Okay, so the file is created, lane positions, right? So that we know how many items were fetched. And okay, so this file is created, this means it's working, right? Now let's try to fetch. Okay, let's pass date range. Let's say end date. Start date can be empty, right? We can set end date, and the start date will be 24 hours prior of this end date. So let's pass end date, end time only, and then let's make this, let's give this a random value like this. Okay, and 0 0 0 0 and 0 0. Will it bring that trade record or not? It should not bring any trade record because there does not exist any trade record for that particular range. And here you can see 0, the length is 0, means it could not find any trade for that specific date range, and rightly so, right? Okay, so this function is working. Now let's try to fetch these two trades, these marginal forex trading records. Okay, for this we need to pass this instrument, right? And then instead of bleached, replace with this marginal forex. And for marginal forex, since we know if we pass let's say uh, like invalid date range for particular instrument, we are not going to trade record, right? So we don't need to keep checking that anymore. Now let's check for valid ranges and make sure we're getting like the right data and right number of records for that particular uh, instruments trading history, right? Okay, so what I want to do is actually, this was on 31st July and 2nd July. So first let's try to get for 31st July. So this needs to be 7 and let's say 31st, and the time let's say 23 or 11 p.m. because it was closed at 8 p.m. Okay, so we must be able to get one trade record. Okay, so it says 1. Let's make sure the loss amount is 105.99. Is it same? Okay, 105.99. Now let's try to get this other trade record as well. Let's try to get both of these. For this we need to pass start time as well, right? Start time comma, and the format can be same as this. I'll set this, and instead of 31st I will make it to 01, right? First day of the month and last day of the month. This time we must get len as 2. Okay, so we're getting 2, right? So length is 2, correctly so, and also the data is as expected as it exists, right? So 0 0.4 and 105.99, 0.4 and 105.99. Now let's try to get for binary option, and then we will wrap up this tutorial, right? So for binary option, last trade was executed yesterday. It's because it's 22 now, and it was on 21st August, right? So let's try to get this record. So it was on 08 08 23. This also needs to be 08. This can be 31st, no issue, right? Let's see if this is going to get this trade record or not. Okay, it's saying 0. Why is it saying this? Oh, we need to change this. We need to change this to turbo option. Actually, I will do this, okay, so that it will be less confusing and I will get rid of this line. Okay, so for binary this needs to be the instrument type, right? I have been saying this so many times, cannot stress this enough. Okay, looks good. It must, there is one trade record for 21st August, so it must get that, right? It cannot be 0, it needs to be 1. Still getting 0. Okay, still getting 0, and then this is 21st August. Oh, I have set this to 23. My bad, this needs to be 21. Okay, the length is 1 and the data also says $100 loss, 76 active ID. This means Euro USD OTC, and the close time is 0:33. So close time is 0:33, 21st August, $100 loss, and Euro USD OTC, rightfully so, right? Now let's try to get for from 3rd August to this, right? Let's do 03 to end of the month, and this time we must get how many? 1 2 3 4 trade records. Okay, so 4 trading records is fetched, right? Okay, so perfect, we are almost done for this tutorial. Let me see what can be done. What can be done is define gateway function in IQ client, right? So this is the one thing that can be done. Okay, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's get everything done so that we don't have to get back to this particular function ever, like again and again, right? So the new function are, so one is this, need to ensure connected and account manager, and what we need to pass is actually we can copy this thing, we can copy this, right, and replace this. Looks good. Okay, from typing import optional, okay, from typing import optional, right, and also the list, I guess, right? Looks good, looks good. And now we need to pass this thing here, we need to pass instrument type, right? Start time as start time and end time as end time, right? So this is how it needs to be. Okay, this is how it needs to be. Now instead we can call this function without account manager. Let's run it. Okay, getting 4, right? So this means it's working. Likewise, let's define gateway function for get history by page, right? This is another function that we have. Copy the whole function definition, right, and then replace this with this. This time instead of this needs to be limit, and this is going to be limit, and this is going to be offset, and this is going to be offset, right? Looks okay. Let's call this function as well, just to ensure it's working, right? Do this by page, right? We need to get rid of this thing, otherwise we will get an error. We will not actually, because this also has like two other argument, right? So total three arguments, so both of these function receive three arguments, so that will not raise an error, right? Okay, so this is by the limit or page, right? Okay, so we are getting error, and it says get position history dot time got unexpected keyword argument limit. So it's complaining that it just a moment. So by page, right? And the error says account manager dot get position history by time. We are calling the wrong function here. This needs to be this function, right? Now that should fix the issue. Perfect. So we are getting 300 data because we are calling, what we are calling is turbo and binary option. Perfect, right? All looks good. Let's get rid of this thing. Let's comment this thing, right? And actually let's cut this from here and paste it here in this function, right? So that later on we will know what needs to be passed as our okay, so this will return list, right? So let's do type hinting list, right? The payload looks okay, right? Other thing looks okay, and then okay, one thing that I wanna do is these thing are repetitive, right? We are doing this thing, the same thing here and here, right? In both of these places we are doing the same thing, right? So let's make sure we don't do DRY or do not repeat your actually we follow DRY principle, right? So for that what we can do is uh, actually define this function. Okay, so this video is already long, so I'm not going to explain this because this is just a normal function, right? We will pass the payload, right? And like always we will first send this attribute value to none to reset previous value, right? And then we make response, right? So we make WebSocket, we send WebSocket message, and here what I'm doing is I'm adding this timeout exception, right? If we don't get data until 10 seconds, then it will raise exception and it will exit, right? And if it gets the data, it will return the data. Now instead of this, right, instead of this thing, you can actually get rid of this thing and call a function, actually return a function uh, which in returns a list of trading histories, right? Looks good. Let's do the same thing here as well, and we will test it just to ensure it works, and we are done for this tutorial. Okay, all looks good. Let's call the function by page, right? Just want to ensure this is working. video is already getting long. Okay, so okay, so we are not getting the data. We are stuck inside the loop, right? And it says timeout waiting for positional history response, right? So it waited for more than 10 seconds, but the message did not arrive and it exits. So let's see why this thing is happening. So message handler, right? So self dot message handler dot history position. Okay, position history. Okay, so we have mismatch. This is the mismatch. So history position. This is the attribute that we have, right? Run the script. Meanwhile, I will check history position. Okay, so possibly because of mismatch of attributes, right? Attributes name. Okay, so this time we are getting 300 data, right? Here you can see getting 300 data. This means this function is working. Let's remove these unnecessary lines, right? Remove these unnecessary lines. Okay, and we are good to go. So in this video we successfully faced the trading history by sending two different kind of payload, right? In the next video now we will start placing trade. So we will start with the digital option. So in order to place trade, first thing that we need to get is the expiry time, right? And expiry time a function is going to be same for digital option, binary option, and turbo option. So next in the next tutorial we will write function to get the expiry time, right, for this instrument. And in the next video we will actually write function to place trade. That function will be able to place digital option trade. And in another video, right, in another video we will write function to test digital options trade outcome. So for this digital trading we will have 3 or 4 at the max functions. Okay, so the next 3 function going to be, okay, actually upcoming tutorials are going to be fun because this is what many of you may have been waiting for. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in the next video.